Well, welcome back to the Ashes debrief. Australia have retained the Ashes. It was closer than we were expecting, but Australia retained the Ashes at the earliest possible point. I've got Jonathan Agnew and Glenn McGrath alongside me. It was too little too late for England, Aggers.
Well, again, I think it's been a tour of frustration so far, hasn't it? I mean, it really has. The what-ifs and the what might have beens. If they'd batted a bit more sensibly on that second day at Perth, the whole thing could have been different. And it's frustrating. It's kind of positive but frustrating that they played so much better here in this match. They went away, went to Noosa, that obviously caused a bit of a stink. And they went away to have some talk about stuff. They've clearly done that. And they have come back with a much better, more sensible, calmer approach to playing Test cricket. And we saw it here. I mean, the way Zach Crawley batted was beautiful. Yeah, under no pressure to score quickly. The bowling was more controlled. The field placings weren't quite so crazy. And we've just seen them dig in. And because if you're going to beat Australia, that's the only way you're going to do it. You're going to play them at their own game. Professional, really well thought through plans. But basics, get your basics right. If you don't get your basics right against Australia, you lose.
Glenn, in the other tests, England were out-bowled, out-batted, outfielded, outplayed. Even though they've lost this game, is it in a weird and wonderful way a positive loss?
I think you always try to look what you can take out of it from a positive perspective. And I thought the way England played those last 2 days especially, they really competed with Australia. The way they bowled 6 wickets for 38 runs really sort of gave themselves a slight chance. It could have quite easily been chasing 535 in that second innings. 435's still not, it is better, still pretty tough. But the way they batted, the way they applied themselves, they look like they had fight in them. And that's what I guess that's what we want to see. That's what the fans want to see, is just that England team get out there and just fight and give it everything they've got. So they showed they've got plenty of fight. I think they're starting to learn. So they bowled better areas. They started to apply themselves more with the bat, gave themselves a chance to get in before they played the shot. So it looked a better team these last 2 days.
So we were talking about too little too late, Aggers. Brendan McCullum, the England head coach, said England were outplayed in all 3 test matches. He actually said maybe the prep could have been better. He will reflect, and he didn't quite get it right.
Yeah, well, thank goodness he's admitted it. I mean, it's not hindsight from us, is it? I mean, we've been saying it ever since the schedule came out in the middle to late summer at home. We've been banging on about the preparation, and it's been met with no response whatsoever, apart from comments about has-beens and that's how it used to be done. Well, yeah, okay, actually that was the way it used to be done, with rather more success than this has been.
I was going to say, this has had great success for preparing for test matches.
Well, exactly. I mean, you have to work hard, and I'm not saying they don't work hard. I just don't think they've been working hard in the right way. And you need to play games of cricket. You can bowl in the nets as much as you like. You don't get hurt in the nets. Bowling wise, you get hit for 4. Well, actually, there's a fielder there. You're out there in front of 50,000. You get hit for 4. You've got to get in there. You've got to bowl the next ball. All those sorts of things. You only get through playing games of cricket. I'm pleased he said it because it kind of clears the air. I suspect he might have been saying it possibly for the ears of his employers back home as well, because he'll be called in to the headmaster's office when he gets back and say, "Hey, what's going on here?" And if he were to say, "Well, I was right all the way, this is all nonsense," then I think they could have shown him the door.
Yeah.
But now, he's talking about coming back in 4 years' time. Well, great, okay. That's his target, and he knows things had to be done differently. But I thought it was that he was also saying that for back home as well.
A lot depends on these last 2 tests. If England lose 5-0, probably it's all over. But if they really fight back, if they find a way to really compete or win these last 2 games, then they're half a chance.
Exactly. I'm just glad that he said it. I'm glad he cleared that up, because that does show that there is half an ear on what people are saying, whereas before it was that. We're not listening, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to talk about the jobs of the coaches, the captains, the CEO, the director of cricket a little bit later, but we might as well do it now. It feels like Rob Key, Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes all come together. If one of them goes, is it a worry that they'll all go?
Well, Rob Key appointed Stokes first of all, and then after conferencing with him, they appointed Brendan McCullum, which was an inspired choice. If you think where English cricket was at the time, not everything that they've done has been bad by any means. There's been a lot of good, particularly at the start when they'd really got English cricket by the scruff of the neck and said, "Hey, this is where we're going to go. It's going to be exciting, entertaining. We're going to play and we're going to enjoy it, all that sort of stuff." And that's what English cricket needed. The problem for me was that they just never took their foot off the gas, and they only played in this one-dimensional way. They weren't interested in hearing any other views or thoughts or approaches to playing the game. Theirs was right, full stop. And that, hopefully, is something we looked at now and thought, oh, well, okay, maybe there are people or ideas or other ways that we can look at to take our game forward, because they're good players. They've got some good players here. That's what's really frustrating, as I saw in this game. They can compete with Australia. They got 350 batting last on a wearing pitch. That's a good effort. So they have got good players, but I just don't think they're getting the best out of them.
I think England have played differently here in Adelaide, Glenn, as we touched on. They've learnt lessons from this Test match.
Well, you've got to keep learning lessons, and I think that's been the issue which frustrated probably a lot of fans, and I know definitely us up here, especially with what Agus was just saying. This is the way we play, and a story. Good players play well in their own conditions. Great players find ways to adapt, and they don't just play the one way. And there's quality players out there, and it's good to see. Well, it's a bit of a shame it's taken 3 Test matches to see them actually start adapting, start learning, and start executing better. So, maybe what they learned for this tour is a massive learning experience. If they can put it into place for this next 2 games, who knows? Maybe in 3, 4 years when they're back here again, a lot of these guys will be here and they'll be far better sort of situated for it.
You predicted 5-0. You predicted...
I can't remember.
What did you predict?
I can't remember.
3-2
I think it was
Australia?
something to do with depending on the first result.
Okay.
remember.
Well, okay then. Well, here's my next question. Was it wishful thinking England could compete out here?
Oh, I think it was realistic thinking. And I mean, I said semi-joking after Brisbane, they'll come to Adelaide and play well because they've now had a couple of games.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was semi-joking, but I was semi-serious as well because they needed to play. I know it's like an old broken record, this. I've got bored of saying it, but McCullum has actually admitted it himself that needed to be done. It's no coincidence that they've come out and played here better. They've got 2 games. So it is frustrating. The whole thing is frustrating. We haven't played against Australia's best team yet. 3 tests, and we haven't played against Australia's best team.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity.
Well, and Hazelwood and probably Lyon now are not going to play the rest of the series.
Exactly.
So, sometimes, when you're not up against the best, you sort of, this is a great opportunity, and things, whether you get a bit complacent or what it is, I don't know. But, this Australian team, you've got to give them credit. They've actually played really well. And cricket's a simple sport that we complicate the hell out of. Yeah. You do the basics really, really well. You bat well, you bowl well, you field well. Yeah. You do those 3, then you're going to really compete and be a quality team. So, they've been found wanting, I think, in all 3 areas, but they're brushing up. I think they brushed up on their bowling the other day, they're brushing up on their batting, and we'll see how their fielding goes the rest of the series.
Well, Ben Stokes said post-game he's got mixed emotions. Execution hasn't been good enough for long enough. On the flip side, Australia, they've been adaptable, they've been boring in the best possible way, and they've executed their plans. They've had no Cummins, no Khawaja, no Smith, no Lyon, yet they've still adapted and they've won this Test series at the earliest possible chance.
And that's what you have to do. If you're going to be the best team in the world, you've got to be able to adapt to different situations and do what's required. And if it's on a flat pitch, bowling-wise, you're not going to blast teams out, but what you're going to do is build pressure by cutting it down, scoring, building maiden overs, and that brings wickets. So, just look at just how many maiden overs Australia's bowled to how many England. Even, I think, 3 maiden overs they bowled in the second innings, which is just not enough if you really want to compete.
I think there's a hint of arrogance about England as well, and the Aussies won't like that. They
because we don't have any arrogance.
None at all, obviously. But I don't think they like the attitude that Bazball was striding, and we don't need any practice. That wouldn't have sat well with Australia, and that would have been a good motivator as well. I think these blokes think they can come over here and just swat us aside without really working very hard. I think that would have been a great motivating thing for Andrew McDonald and his team.
That'd be good to chat with Brody. How's Stuart Broad going? Brody said worst Australian team since 2010.
That would have helped.
I'll catch up with Brody. Where's Brody?
He's gone home.
He's stuck home. He's
coming back for the 5-0.
Well, it probably is. I mean, it probably is, to be honest.
It probably is on paper, but sometimes that motivates opposition teams. We went to the West Indies '95, worst team ever to tour West Indies. We beat them. All the what's Dad's Army 06, 07 here. So little comments can motivate, but it shouldn't take those comments. It should be within the individual and the team to be able to do it day in, day out.
Yeah, just to remind anyone, if you didn't see it, Nathan Lyon went off the field halfway through the day with a suspected hamstring. I think it was.
And he was limping and struggling a fair bit, which doesn't look
That'll
good.
be him done.
So who do Australia play as a spinner, Glenn?
Well, that's it. I saw a few names thrown up. We saw Todd Murphy last Ashes series, Mitchell Swepson. You got Matt Kuhneman. So
Options,
there's.
I guess they've got options.
Well, they have. I never heard of any of them, but I mean.
So, well, you would have, because one played in.
Well, you've seen them play.
So Murphy played in the Ashes. Kuhneman played in the subcontinent and did quite well. Yeah. So, there are options, but when you've got someone who's taken over 560, nearly 570 Test wickets, they're massive shoes to fill.
It'd be nice then to come in. I mean, having won the Ashes, go and play Melbourne, Boxing Day Test. I mean, that's a real bonus for one of those, isn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah.
On the flip side, what on earth do England do now, I guess?
Well, I don't know really, because having heard McCullum speaking like that, you wonder what they are going to do. I mean, they're definitely going to, I think, change a bowler. I think Atkinson will come in for Cast, who's tried very hard. He runs in hard.
He's a workhorse, isn't he?
He's a workhorse. I think he's someone a little bit more skillful than that, and Atkinson is a decent bowler. I mean, Ollie Pope's the question, isn't it? I mean, do they really throw open the doors to Jacob Bethel, who they've talked about for so long? We know hardly anything about him. He knows hardly anything about his own game, because he's hardly played any. Are they really going to throw him in at number 3? With up to 100,000 people in the Boxing Day Test? That's massive. Are they going to move Root up to number 3? He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go there, but if they put Root to 3, Brook to 4, Stokes to 5 or Bethel 5, so that's a gentler introduction.
Stokes feels more of a 5 now than he did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think he probably does. So you could have Bethel at 6 and it's a nice gentle introduction for him. But I think it's hard.
Pope in at 6 and probably do better as well.
They could do that, and that's actually quite unkind on Pope, isn't it? Because he's gone in at some horrible times in this series. I mean, poor fellow's gone at 0 for 1 at least twice, and the wicket's falling early. So it's been hard for him. But I think it's hard to justify not rotating batsmen as well as bowlers. If a batsman's out of form and looks like he shouldn't be playing, you've got to drop him. But there's always been this thing, and it's not just England, it's every team, where it seems to be impossible to drop batsmen. It's always the bowler that gets the knife.
We have it tough as 3, don't we?
Bowlers.
But it's true though, isn't it?
We carry the team, and then the first
I can't imagine you ever got dropped.
Batsman. No, I did get dropped my first Ashes. 94-95, finished with the figures of none for 120. Didn't play the next 3, and but
I thought, who's this Glenn McGrath?
Big life lesson. Big sort of learnt a lot from that match and put it into place, and the rest is history. So
Out of we're debating number 3, which actually leads me quite nicely into the Ask Me Anything. But first, before we go on to that, what was the highest you two ever batted?
Oh, I was often night watchman, you see.
Were you? That surprises
me. I strode out there with David Gower, number 3, number 4. Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Yeah, so I was never offered night watchman, and rightly so. I did bat 9 for Australia, but...
Wow, who's 10 and 11?
Someone was injured, and I think Stuart McGill. But the thing was, I was offered to bat number 4 for Australian one-dayers, and offered to bat 3 in tests. So in my final test match. No, the offer was enough for me. I wasn't going to accept it, but I was offered it, and I can live on that for the rest of my life.
I have commentated on him at SCG in your last innings, standing ovation. I mean, Don Bradman never got the ovation that he got when he walked out to bat his last innings. It was fantastic.
Well, I was different. Most of the time when I played at the SCG, I felt like raising my bat on the way out, because it was never going to happen on the way back in.
Well, you got it on the way out that time. It's fantastic.
The debate of England's number 3 is one that will go on for a long time, but this is the chance where you guys can ask me anything Ashes related. We've only got 2 more test matches now. This one is done. Scan the QR code on your screen. Simon in Milton Keynes says, everyone rightly questions the lack of spin options for England, but what about finding another Jonathan Trott? Who would be the TMS guy's choice for number 3 for England?
Ooh. It's a really difficult question. I mean, do you want to go back to someone like Dom Sibley? I think English cricket. I know he's playing more shots these days, but he's a kind of that Jonathan Trott kind of cement-like figure, isn't he? But I think probably his ship has sailed. I mean, I think the best players are here. You've just got to get the best out of the best players that are here, and I don't think they've been getting the best out of Crawley. I don't think they've been getting the best out of Pope. I don't think they've been getting the best out of Jamie Smith. He played nicely here, but there's something's not quite right with the way that these batsmen have been playing in the last 2.5, 3 years. They've been under pressure to score too quickly. It's fine for some. not fine for everybody. And I think this got to. I'm really waffling around it, aren't I? 'Cause I don't know.
So Simon, we've got no idea. And I'm not going to ask Glenn because he doesn't
And
watch
I
county
can't.
cricket.
I definitely can't help.
He's happy with Pope's Day. And I'm afraid. Glenn, congratulations on retaining the Ashes. Well done. Australia
Well done, Pidge.
3-0 up at the earliest opportunity. Don't forget the highlights, or probably the lowlights, are on the iPlayer at 5 p.m. We'll be back after Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in Melbourne.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.